Now to this, in New York City, the death toll from the flooding caused by last night's rainfall has now risen to 8.
All right, Fox 5's Robert Moses live in Elmhurst, Queens with the aftermath. Robert.
Yeah, Steve and Reagan, just an awful number to hear, and unfortunately it has risen as we move through the morning. Among those 8 is a 2-year-old boy. I want to talk now about the abandoned vehicles that you've heard Inez mentioning throughout the morning, because we are seeing that quite clearly here at the intersection of Broadway and Queens Boulevard. You get a sense of just how powerful and destructive this water was. This city trash can is completely wedged. I can't move it an inch. Wedged under this Toyota Camry, a Camry whose right back tire is on the curb. And if you come up here just a bit, the Camry crashed into the back of this Lexus SUV. The front of this SUV, the bumper is now hanging off. I was just talking to the owner of this vehicle, and he told me his wife was driving it last night. The water came up about chest high. No matter what adjective I try to use to describe this water, well, all of the superlatives seem to apply today. This video looks fake. It is not. A biblical amount of water gushed into the 28th Street station in Chelsea. A similarly apocalyptic scene played out at the Jefferson Street station in Bushwick, which looked like a water park as a train plowed through a gauntlet of water. The MTA says it evacuated at least 17 subway trains that got stuck between stations. Above ground, it was no better. No borough was spared. The inundation on Knickerbocker Avenue in Bushwick marooned vehicles so only their top halves were visible. Queens got pummeled too.
This is the corner of 47 and Skillman. It's Sunnyside. Right now I'm looking north on 47. It's a little past my knees here in the middle. It's probably not safe to be in here, so I'm gonna get out of this.
In Manhattan, a river ran through the FDR Drive. Columbus Avenue was underwater between 97th and 100th Street. In a 1-hour span last night, Central Park saw 3.15 inches of rain, the highest 1-hour rate on record. The previous record was set when Henri hit. On Staten Island, floodwaters buried cars outside of a Costco. And in the Bronx, as this Citizen app video shows, drivers near the intersection of Webster Avenue and East Gun Hill Road navigated an obstacle course. No matter where you looked in the city, all of the superlatives applied.
And more abandoned cars to show you this morning. That Audi on the far corner, and then just behind us, around a block or so away, that Nissan Altima is halfway up on the curb. Everywhere you look this morning, people are coming back, trying to start their cars, sometimes unsuccessfully so, if you'll walk back with me. And we have to be careful, because as we step off the curb, yes, the water has receded, but what you see here is all of this mud and debris that was carried down what can only be described really as a swimming pool here last night. That's what it looked like. And in fact, you can see a lot of that debris over here covering the storm drain just got dragged and deposited right there. And as you were heading out today, I would advise against that if it's at all possible. The work from home option is a really good bet for today. But if you do have to head out and you're driving, do be careful, because not only are you going to be navigating around ponding on the roads, but you also have these marooned vehicles that are sticking halfway out into the lanes of traffic. So you really do need to be careful, because you come upon these vehicles without warning, and that can be very, very hazardous. Also, I was just talking with Tim Minton. He's one of the spokespeople at the MTA. I mentioned how at least 17 subway trains had to be evacuated. Those trains were stuck in between stations. Miraculously, he told me, there were no injuries in transit. So through all of this, through all of those evacuations, no one got hurt. And that is some good news. But unfortunately, we can't overlook the fact that 8 people, at least 8 people, did lose their lives in flooding here in the city. A testament to the power of water. Live in Elmhurst this morning, Stephen Reagan, back to you.
Yeah, indeed. We escaped a difficult winter, but boy, we're making up for it this summer with all these rainstorms.